It's time for the resilience reset, and today is all about focus. Focusing all the distractions that are available to us each and every day at any moment. And oh my goodness, are there ever a lot? And let's be honest, some of them are external, some of those distractions are internal. You ever done that? It's like you're working on something, you know you're working on something, and then this idea pops into your head, and you all of a sudden start working on something else. And the thing that you were working on isn't done yet, but now you've gone on to this thing, and then you gotta come back to this thing later, and nothing is actually getting done because the thing that you got distracted to, you ultimately may end up, like me, getting distracted again into something else. So we gotta come up with some strategies on doing that, and it's so natural to be distracted. I, would love to hear from you in the chat box, like, let me know, are you someone who gets distracted? Uh, I am really easily distractible. So that's why I've come up with a whole bunch of different strategies that I use to help me still be productive each and every day in spurts. Okay. So I'm not productive all the time, but I can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. And I remember when I learned this, and I learned it out of necessity because when I was early in my pain journey, my physical pain journey, and this would have been way back in like 2007, 2009, 20, 2012 idea. Hi there, Greg. I kept going off and on task, so this is a timely topic. Yeah, funny, eh? How this is timely for many of us. Uh, and when sorry, I have my phone off this time. I don't know why it still it came through, but anyway, that's all right. It's on do not disturb. So I was in a situation where because of my physical pain and limitations, instead of having 18 hours a day of functionality when I would just work, 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 work until I couldn't work any longer, right? I had 2 to 5 hours of functionality, like, of actual cognitive, like, I'm not in so much pain that I can actually do something of value right now. That was my limit. And some days there were more and some days there were actually less, but I knew that that was sort of what I had to work with on a day-to-day basis. And what ultimately ended up happening was I became more productive. If you look at my outputs per hour back then compared to now that I'm like, my pain is sort of under control, it's still there, but I can deal with it and I don't feel like it's a limiting thing and I'm working full time again. I I can tell you that back then I got more done in less time. And so this is the concept of good stress, and that's the power of focus. So think about if you can get your work done when like, you've got to know this, right? When you're in flow and you're working at your optimal, like, shit gets done fast, right? Like, and the right stuff gets done. And so we want to figure out, how do we manufacture bursts of that throughout the workday and throughout consistently throughout the work week so that you can actually um, you can take time off and recharge and rest and be guilt free, because we don't feel guilty about taking time off when we know that we had like a massively productive morning or a massively productive week, right? Then it's like, yeah, I deserve the weekend, bring it on. We get this guilt sensation, I think, about all the things that need to get done when we're not having these productive times. And so let's talk about how you can do this. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the concept of good stress. So, good stress, unlike negative destructive stress that is causing overwhelm and burnout and needs to be eradicated across North America and throughout the world. Um, drama, drama, yes. Uh, Good stress will inspire you and will focus you. And we can manufacture good stress by doing three things: adding in a deadline, a goal, and accountability. All right, deadline, goal, accountability. Now, I think of this formula, or, and I'm sure it's somebody else's formula too, but it's just the way I think. So I put it in my book. I look at this. And it was like, okay, so when I used to be a columnist, I don't know if some of you knew me back then, but I was a columnist and I used to have a column called The People You Know. And I would go around and I had to write that column 4 times a week. And my deadline was 3 o'clock the night before the column ran. So Monday night needed to get Tuesday night's column in, Wednesday for Thursday, Thursday for Friday, Friday for Saturday, obviously, right? That's how it works. And when I first wrote the column, I would get up and I would start like sometimes 2 days in advance. And then I would like start at, oh, look who's here. Jennifer's here. Awesome. Cool. One of my BFFs. And she and I, we do a lot of accountability together. So our trick is coming up in the short term. Okay, so I would like start, and I'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd start writing, and then I would always get the column in on time at 3 o'clock. It would take me the whole day of fiddling with it, and I'd have to do other meetings, and then I'd come back to it, and and then a couple times it happened where I couldn't start until 2 p.m. And you know what would happen? I'd get the column in at 3 o'clock. And so but it was like so hyper focused. And I actually think some of those were my better columns because they were like, I was just so in the zone and so forced to be focused. And so this is how good stress is created, right? We get rid of everything else. Now, good stress can quickly become destructive stress. If, let's say, I didn't start my column until 2:45, there was no way I was going to be able to write a publishable piece of work in 15 minutes. So that's where we misalign and deadlines can backfire. But if we plot it properly, it really took me about uh, like an hour. Yeah, I totally get it done. That's right, because this is how our brain works, right? High level of focus. So that's what we're trying to create are these spurts of focus. And so different ways that we can do it. My first on the list is to phone a friend. And one of my favorite friends to phone is none other than possibility, productivity, and profitability coach, Jennifer Jimbury. So we would always do that where, and no, we still do, where it's like, hey, listen, I'm not really focused right now. I got to get this project done. I'm going to do it for 75 minutes. And if we're both available, we'll hop on a Zoom and we'll talk it through and then we'll get to work. If one of us is not available, we'll go, okay, I'll check in with you in 45 minutes or 75 minutes. And having a friend who you can like play this game with is so critical because it creates the perfect trifecta. I've got a deadline. We're going to work for 75 minutes. I've got a goal. I got to get this thing done. And I've got accountability. You and I are both working on it right now. So finding some friends you can work with. And this is also great for colleagues. Like I was doing a presentation today for a team and I recommended to them, like within your office, you're all virtual. So why don't you create like little partnerships where you could do like, I'm going to do a work block. Like let's hop on and be on Microsoft Teams or on Google Meet. And let's just, go through that. And like, we'll say what we're going to work on and we'll turn off our microphones and we'll get to work and we'll be totally focused. Like this is possible for everyone. Now, something I have found that is really helpful as well, if you don't have somebody to call or you want to do your work blocks at random times when your regular people are not available to do that, is a thing called focusmate.com. Okay, focusmate.com. You can go on Focusmate and you can, first of all, you get 3 free focus sessions. Sorry, I'm going to be quoting with threes. You get 3 free focus sessions. Sorry. These are the kind of things that happen on the Resilience Reset. Um, this is how Allison Graham quotes for people with threes. Anyway, I'm taking that too far. That was really funny to me. Okay, so you get 3 free focus sessions on focusmate.com. And if you want unlimited, it's $5 a month, probably the best $5 you can spend. So here's how it works. You go on, you sign up for a focus session, and generally like there's one happening every 15 minutes, or you can just say, I want to do one at like 7:10 p.m. or whenever. and you get partnered with somebody random from around the world. You come on, you go on video right within the system, and you say, okay, hi, my name is, I'm going to do this. And it's that. Like, there's no chit chat or like really supporting each other or anything. It's literally you just do that. You mute, you stay on video, and you get the work done. So there is no excuse to not do this. Okay. Okay, so here I'm going to read some more comments here. If we give ourselves 30 days to clean the house, it will take us 30 days. It sure will. And if you give yourselves 30 minutes, it'll take you 30 minutes. Definitely a great idea to do a pod or a huddle team. Yeah, like within offices, why not do this, right? Like it doesn't have to just be, entrepreneurs going outside. Like office, like why not support each other? We're all in this together. We're all like, I think most professionals are feeling the same way, that there is like, a lot of distractions available. So why not do that? Greg is saying, sorry, I've got my funny setup here. I can't see the screen. Very cool. I find sometimes with friends and colleagues, there can be a tendency to get so social instead of focused. It's so true. And so that's where the focusmate.com, because you could do 5 of them in a day and like perfect. And I think they're actually 45-minute sessions. So they sort of have that planned out. And you're right, because you can do the chit chat. So, I know, like, for example, with Jennifer and I, we're very good. Like we have sort of a balance of like, okay, what's going on, and let's get to work. And so, yeah, definitely works. Okay. The next thing is set a timer. So I do this for myself, and I will pull my iPhone and just say, okay, hey Siri, set me a timer for, 45 minutes from now. And as soon as the timer is going, that is, that to me is like a switch that happens, right? It's going to happen. And it just focuses me. And here's the thing, you can reset your focus at any moment. If you start noticing that like I'm getting into distracted and multitasking and all of this kind of stuff, you can be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I gotta reset my day, little resilience reset. And you can choose to set a timer or go on to Focusmate or call a friend, whatever. Now, when you set a timer, the key is, you might want to turn your phone on completely do not disturb. You also may choose to want to use a non-electronic timer. So on my desk, I'm sure I've held it up before at some point, I have my little, like an old school 1970s, looks like it's from the 70s. It probably actually is a kitchen timer, right? And it tick, 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 ticks the whole time. And it's like, that's my indication that I'm in focus mode. So you've got to figure out what is going to work with you, but whatever you do, you can't have it add on other distractions, right? Like by seeing the phone. Okay, hold on a sec. Any ideas for the folks that have an accountability partner, time block, deadline goal, but are also responsible for handling incoming calls? Yes. So it depends who the incoming calls are from. If they're, and how expected they are and how frequent they are. So if you get an incoming call, like first of all, if I get an incoming call, I'm taking it, because if it's somebody who's calling me to book me to speak, I'm always going to, like, that trumps, anything I'm really kind of probably working on in a focus section, save, delivering to a client. But then I would not have my phone on anyway. So you've got to look. The other thing is we can lead our clients to have an expectation that I'm going to call you back in an hour. Or if I'm not available, I will call you. And in real estate, I think, Greg, because that would be in your world, there might be something really critical, and you kind of have to balance that with actually getting the work done. There's another thing. Oh, Lauren's here too. Oh, exciting. Look at the party we're having today on the Resilience Reset. All right, one of the big things I find distracts me from my focus is the knowledge that there are so many things to do. I try to make lists and stick to them, but I get so worried about dropping balls that I start to second guess the list. Grin with a great big laugh. Oh my God, Lauren, you've got to see some of my videos about the emotional connection to the to-do list and how this is like causing the overwhelm for people. You are not alone in saying this, and I'm glad you wrote this, because the thing is that the to-do list is never going to end. And so if we're emotionally connected, or we have any emotion or thinking noise, because it's thinking noise, it's a type of noise, that is connected to the fact that there's all these things that need to get done, we will never be at peace, and we will never like to be able to relax. And it will be very, very hard to ever focus on something, because there's this nagging, right? I got to think about this. I got to think about this. And so part of what I talk about in the book, Take Back Your Weekends, is you've got to trust the paper or your electronic system. Like, we need to have a system in place that you are getting the right tasks showing up, that you are seeing, like, so that you can trust it, so that you can absolutely focus, there's that word again, on the task that's in front of you. And even if you are forgetting something, it doesn't negate the fact that you still need to actually focus on the thing that you're actually doing. If the thing you need to do needs to be done, then we've got to get you the mental discipline so that you're only looking at the one thing and allowing whatever else has to happen to be left for the future. Yeah. Okay, you're so right. I have a mini nagging taskmaster in there in my head. I know it's there. It's there for many of us. And we got to like shut that little guy down, call him a little guy. Taskmaster. I imagine him like, you know, whipping at the circus. Don't forget to leverage technology where possible. For example, the new iOS 15 features new functionality called Focus to help us with this, and the ability to limit notifications. What? What? I didn't know this is a new thing. I'm gonna go find where that is, Greg. Didn't know that there's a new thing. Oh, here. He's got us an email. Can you put that in the oh, you already did put it in the comments. As I'm bringing the comment up on the screen, so people can click onto that. That's on LinkedIn. I'll transfer it over to Facebook so people can check that out. Yeah, and it's because if we don't have something, you know, I often tell the story about one of my clients who was so upset, like she just started crying within 5 minutes of our first call together. And she's like, I can't relax and I can't get the work done, because whenever I'm relaxing, I'm feeling guilty about the to-do list and what have I forgotten and da 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 da. And like, it's just this, I'm worried about that all piling up. And when I'm working, I feel like guilty because I'm not relaxing and I'm not spending time with my family and right. And I'm never going to get caught up. It's just overwhelming. And the thing is, we just got to tackle the one thing at a time. So actually, I'll talk about that in a second, but let's keep going with some of these ideas. Uh, you know how I use my problem solving framework? Situational awareness, self-awareness, solution activation. I'm talking a lot today about solution activation, but I always encourage you to go back to situational awareness, figure out what's happening, what are the tasks that need to get done, what are the situations and the type of tasks where I'm getting off track, what are the distractions that are causing me problems, right? Like what are the distractions? So maybe it is your own mind. Okay, well then I got to be aware of what is the story I'm telling myself in my head, and get that, you know, we always want to give that internal voice an external presence, meaning get to a pen and paper, right? And start writing down, like, I'm concerned I'm forgetting this. Well, and then look at it objectively. Do I forget that? No. Is it already written down on the list? Yes. Do I need a better tracking system so the balls don't drop? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get that done. Invest time today to buy back time tomorrow. Okay. So this is the situational awareness. Then the self-awareness, you know, like sometimes, I'm gonna throw it out there, at least this is my experience, it's really easy to get distracted when I'm trying. It's a way of procrastination. And procrastination is usually rooted for me in fear or in a lack of belief that what I'm doing is going to make a difference, or in a like that I know what I'm doing. Like, so there's usually is something a little bit deeper that's going on there. So just going to challenge you on that. And then the solution activation. Now, here's going to be a really funny suggestion. And for me, it's a game changer. You ready for this, folks? Well, let me get you the answer. In the spirit of, look at this, it's already on the spot. In the spirit of using technology, binaural beats. And do you see how I have it set to focus? You can actually change it. There's relaxation. I'll show you here. Hold on. Depending on how you do it. Delta. Okay. Anyway, relaxation, focus, alertness. You want to be really alert. Like, so if I'm really exhausted and I'm driving, I want to be alert, I will go into that. I will put those on. But the focus is fantastic. And for whatever reason, I'll tell you, you do this. And I remember the first time I used binaural beats, and I put them in, you have to put them on with a headset. And I was like really like all over the place, and I put them on the focus, and I was like, I felt like I was in a trance. I'm like, I want to look away and I can't. I want to look away and I can't. It's really powerful. So you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'll tell you, it is. If it works for you, it may not. Binaural beats for me, it's a free download, and that's the one I recommend. I've tried it a few, but the one that looked like that is the one I would recommend. Okay. Oh my gosh, is Sarah here? Oh, awesome. I've missed you lately. You haven't been around lately. So thank you for being here. Super excited. So those are some ideas, like just that accountability, leveraging the good stress, getting really clear about your situational awareness, your self-awareness, and figuring out some of the solution activation that's going to work most best for you. So for me, those are call a friend, binaural beats, setting a timer. And you know what? Here's the thing. I got to use all of those every day, right? It's not like it's a one and done and then we're like really good at focus. But I do believe that our focus is a muscle that we must build. Just like if we're trying to figure out how to do push-ups or, getting another rep in or doing more, whatever, we gotta build the muscle of focus. And just simply throwing our hands up and saying, oh, I'm not a focuser, and letting that go is robbing yourself of your full potential. Because the only way we're going to make really, really amazing, wonderful things happen is to master the art of the focus. I believe in you. I know you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time and a bit of problem solving to make it happen. Oh, thank you. Okay. So listen, there are my ideas. Any questions, comments, thoughts? That was what I came up with today before we came on. Oh, I also wrote the word breaks. In order to truly focus, we need that timeline. Like, stress is not designed to be a constant, right? We want to use good stress so we go up and down, up and down, up and down. And so figuring out like what's the timeline and then taking our breaks, right? Like stepping away for 5 minutes, coming to the resilience reset, right? And like my hope is you leave this, you're feeling energized, you're feeling charged, and now you're going to go back and do a focus session, right? You're going to go, great, what do I need to get done? And if you haven't read the book, Take Back Your Weekends, go get that so that you have the task circle concept, right? Like that is really helpful to go, okay, this is what I'm going to wear. This is the hat I'm wearing right now. These are the things I'm going to do, setting your timelines. So, Lauren, I'm glad it was well timed, and I was super excited to have you here. I don't know if you've come. I think you've come a couple of times, but I always love seeing you. So thank you. Nice to have my CAPS colleagues here. So, all right, don't forget about celebrating the win. You're right, Greg. There's another thing waiting to tackle, but reward yourself. And this is the thing. So, like, if you do a 45-minute work block, I like 75 minutes, but 45 is great. And I know a lot of people in the Pomodoro method, they say 20, but honestly, I find it just wastes my day. I can't get enough done in 20 minutes to really feel like I got some juice in there and that I got some focus. I feel like just as I'm starting to get into the groove, the alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, I was just there. I was just focusing. So 45 minutes to 75 minutes is so important. But then that when you take that break, whether it's 5 to 15 minutes, whatever, that's when you check your email. That's when you get your phone calls. That's when go get a coffee or, go check out the kids or whatever. That's when you do that. And, I think to Greg's point, taking a moment to feel like proud that you did 45 minutes of constant work and without any distractions. Oh, speaking of which, if you have notifications on your computer, turn them off. I was sitting in one of my clients' offices and I'm like, what is that noise? And this happens routinely. This happened in the past. I'm like, what is that noise? And this is my email. You've got like hundreds of those a day. That dings every time. Yeah. Well, no wonder you're having trouble focusing. Like, ding, 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 ding. It's like, you know what it is? It's like going to Vegas, into one of the casinos, sitting outside when, like, not sitting outside, sitting inside by all the slot machines and doing your work. Now, there are some brains that would really thrive in that environment, but most of us would not. Right? But think about it. Every time a ding is going off, every time your light is showing up and blinking red on your phone and going ding, 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 ding. And like LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn, but it's got a notification setting that dings no matter what I try to do to turn it off. So I just have to mute that every day on my tab. I also notice that people who have a ton of tabs open, like, I don't know how your brain functions with that. Like I close out all my tabs and only use the one I'm working on because I just find it helps focus a little bit better. Art of Focus, love it. I will rewatch what I miss. Please do, yeah, because it's we got lots of different ideas there, and you're going to see me quote with the threes. It made no sense anyway. I thought it was funny. Okay, folks, awesome to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming every day. Tomorrow is the Wild Card Wednesday topic, so we'll pull a topic out of one of my books, and that's what I will riff on. Uh, Hello? Oh my God, somebody's here, I think. Nobody's supposed to be here. I gotta go. Anyway, until next time, stress less, do more, and be happier.